Hello everyone and welcome back to RIZE Racing League with our Division 2 drivers here for the Canadian Grand Prix. You can see the weather is pretty decent here for our first qualifying session, Q1. So this is a bit of an unusual place for the Canadian Grand Prix to be placed in the calendar, and the reason for that is that the race was ran earlier in the season in the normal calendar spot, and we had a rather unfortunate glitch which basically caused the whole lobby to just mess up. We had the safety car that was running rampant, and it just impacted everyone's race. So we made the call to avoid that race, and we would run it again at a later stage, and that is what we are doing. So you can see that the first car out on track is the Haas of Roberts. And he's got Count Dooku in the Ferrari just behind him for company. Drivers are out on their outlaps at the minute. So the weather is good as it stands, but we're not sure what's in store for the later parts of qualifying and the race. There is always the potential threat of rain in Canada, but I do think that we will have a dry race. So as Roberts just makes contact with the wall there, as he goes to start his flying lap, that's not going to be good. I'm not sure how much damage he has, can't really see his wing. The wing does still look intact, so it must not be that bad damage. But he is starting his first flying lap, and the first flying lap of this session. He does have a Red Bull behind him. I believe that is the Red Bull of Dirty Chewbacca, or is it Toddy Bear? It is not. It looks like it's Dirty Chewbacca. It does look like Dirty Chewbacca is going to be the first driver to set a lap time. Let's see what he can do. And it is a 1:10.4 for Dirty Chewbacca. Count Dooku comes in behind with a 1:12.2, and iZombie comes in P2, the Alpine driver, with a 1:10.5, so very close between Dirty Chewbacca and iZombie as it stands. Just having a look now at the McLaren of Ross Wales. He's making his way down the back straight, heading towards that final chicane. And then on to the pit straight. DRS. And across the line, it's a 1:11.5. And that is currently P3 for Ross Wales in the McLaren. Let's see. Got a number of drivers who are just making their way around the track and back into the pits again. Just Tonner does have an invalidated lap attempt there, so let's see if the Alfa Romeo driver does go straight for another flying lap attempt. Let's see, over 200 miles an hour down that back straight. That is a lot of speed. And he looks to be going straight into another flying lap. Let's see what he can do as he makes his way towards turn 1. There is yellow flags out in sectors 1 and 2, but that doesn't appear to be impacting Just Honor. But what is impacting Just Honor is the track limits. That is the second time that we've seen that Just Honor does seem to be struggling with the track limits, so let's hope he can get that right next time round. Not sure if there will be enough fuel in that car for him to go for another flying lap attempt straight away, or if he will take a visit into the pits and then come back out at a later stage. Just having a look at our Drivers' Championship P1, Kaz 420 at the minute. He's crossing the line there, and he is having issues with track limits as well. The Williams of Hans is on a flying lap attempt here now, and his teammate is in the pits at the moment, has not set a lap time just yet, so let's see what the Williams driver can do as he sets a purple sector 1. That is very nice indeed from the Williams driver. Into sector 2. Oh, goes a bit wide on that chicane, and that does just hit him with a track limits violation, and as a result Hans will need to go again. And that's really disappointing because he was on a cracking lap attempt there with a purple sector 1 time. What a shame. Going on board with the I Love Max Verstappen. He set a purple sector 1 time now. The Mercedes driver now in sector 2. What can Max Verstappen do? Into sector 3. He's got his teammate just ahead of him, and he is getting a nice little tow there, but will the teammate move out of the way? Will DXT Viper give Max Verstappen what he wants? I think he was a bit unsure about what was going to happen, if he was heading into the pits or not, so that will have cost Max Verstappen some time, but it's still a very decent time indeed. It is a P5 with a 1:12 exactly. Really not much between him and Count Dooku for P4. So a real shame for Max Verstappen, because he did set 2 good sectors there, and actually I think just that little issue with his teammate in sector 3 did cost him a bit of time. The rear of that Mercedes just getting really loose there, but he keeps it on track as he makes his way through sector 2 into the chicane, which does seem to be catching people out in terms of track limits, but it's not catching out Max Verstappen as he is making his way down towards the hairpin into sector 3. He has saved a little bit of time on his sector 2 time there, not much, but any gain is very good indeed, and he is making his way down the back straight. DRS has Dirty Chewbacca sets the fastest lap time of the session with a 1:10.3. Max Verstappen has got DRS assistance into the final chicane and along the pit straight with more DRS assistance. And what time is it going to be for Max Verstappen? Does he improve? He does improve. He shaves 0.5 seconds off his time up into P3 with the 1:11.5, and that is a very respectable time indeed for Max Verstappen. Just having a look here at our current P1 drivers champion is Kaz 420. Hasn't set a lap time and is in the pits at the moment. Really interesting to see what is going on there. And as we go on board with Hans in the Williams, that does look to be another invalidated lap attempt, which is really unfortunate for the Williams driver. But let's see if he does head on to another flying lap attempt straight away. There we have it. The Williams driver is on a flying lap attempt. Can he get this one right? Let's see what he can do. Through sector 1 and into sector 2, there does appear to be a little bit of traffic ahead of him, and that is his teammate who moves out of the way very nicely to allow Hans past and he does not get caught out with track limits at that moment, but DXT Viper in the Mercedes is just ahead. Will he cause any problems for the Williams driver? I'm not sure if he is on a flying lap himself. He doesn't look to be, and Hans does get DRS and slides past the Mercedes very nicely indeed. And let's see what time it's going to be on the board as Hans makes his way to the final chicane. No track limit violation there. Back on the pit straight, and he crosses the line, and it is a 1:11.8, a very decent time indeed for Hans. So just having a look at the drivers at risk and stands, we do have a couple of drivers in the pits. So AMG Speeds down with the 1:17.8 and in the pits at the moment in 15th place. That will see him through to Q2, but it is tight if some of these other drivers do set times. For example, Mecha 84 and Kaz 420, both drivers are looking to set times, and if they set times above AMG Speeds 1:17.8, then he could be kicked out. So hopefully he does come out on track shortly to improve on his time. Mecha 84 heads into sector 3 through the hairpin down the back straight with DRS assistance now. And what time is it for the Williams driver? It's at 1:13.8, a little bit lower down the board than his teammate, but still a decent time indeed. Kaz 420 crosses the line, but did have an invalidated lap attempt, so he needs to go again. And is he heading straight into another flying lap attempt? It does look to be the case indeed. From sectors 1 into sector 2. No track limit violation just yet. And we do have AMG Smithy, who has retired. Not sure if that was in the pits or not. Hopefully he believes that he's got a good enough time to see him through. And AMG Speeds is now at risk, but he is out on track, and hopefully he can improve that time. I have every expectation that he will. Kaz 420 back on the pit straight. He's got his DRS open, and what time is it going to be on the board for the AlphaTauri driver? It is a 1:11.1, and that brings him up into P4. Very, very nice indeed. And let's go and ride on board with the AMG Smithy, who sets a fastest sector 2 time. It's a purple sector 2 for the McLaren with AMG Smithy, or AMG Speeds, apologies, as he makes his way down the back straight. He's got his DRS wide open. That's given him a couple more miles per hour down that straight. And what time is it going to be? It's going to be massively improved. It is 7.6 seconds off his time. He sets the fastest lap time of the session. It is a 1:10.2, just 1/10 of a second between AMG Speeds and Dirty Chewbacca. That is a very nice time indeed from the McLaren driver, who is making his return back on track with his division. So we've got Tom Tarka, who's going to be at risk at the moment down in P17. AMG Smithy has retired again. Wasn't sure whether that was on track or not, but his time now bumps him out of the top 15, which means he will not progress through to Q2. Boscombe Boy is in P15 at the minute, and as that stands, that would be good enough to see him through to Q2. But he is still very much at risk, especially with Tom Tarka coming out of the pits and looking to improve on his time. So Really not much in it between Boscombe Boy and DXT Viper. DXT, oh, there is contact with the AlphaTauri and the barrier, and he sheds his front wing on track, and Boscombe Boy has lost his front wing as he makes his way down that back straight. That is a disaster for the AlphaTauri driver, who needs to head into the pits now, and there is really not a lot of time left on the clock. There is just over 2 minutes left on the clock. I dare say that's not enough time to get in, get that front wing changed, back out on track, and cross the line ready to start a new lap before the session is over. So Boscombe Boy really in a bit of a tricky spot there at the moment. Just having a look now at Tom Tarka in P17 on an out lap. Can he get himself into Q2? Let's see what the Alpine driver can do. His teammate up in P3 at the minute. What can he do? Tom Tarka making his way through Sector 2. You can see Ferrari in the distance. It's the Ferrari of Drowsy Brawler. And that is a purple Sector 2 time for Tom Tarka. The Alpine driver looks to be making improvements as he makes his way into Sector 3. He's got DRS again. Let's see what he can do. It is P13, 0.7 seconds saved on his best time. That is a good effort from the Alpine of Tom Tarka, as there is now 15 seconds left on the clock. He has bumped himself up from P17 to P13, and as it stands will progress through to the next stage of qualifying. And you can see Boscombe Boy did make an attempt to go out there, but just 1 second left on the clock. He does not make it to the line on time to start another flying lap, and at P16 we will see Boscombe Boy leaving us and will not progress through to Q2. Really unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo or AlphaTauri driver, who could have had a shot there at fighting back and potentially getting himself through to Q2 alongside his teammate Kaz 420. But that is the lay of the land as we finish Q1 and make our way into Q2. We'll be back shortly. And we are back with our Q2 coverage here in Canada. You can see the weather has started to change from Q1. Q1 was nice and sunny, but we do have spots of rain on track. Now, this is where it is really, really important for drivers in terms of their strategy. You can see Count Dooku, first driver out on track, and even though there is a couple of spots of rain, he is out on the slick, soft tyre, and that is really crucial. You would expect that the majority of drivers will be out on their out laps now and early in the session. The reason for that is because even though it is raining a little bit now, the track conditions must still be good enough for the drivers to be able to set a time on the soft tyre, on the slick tyre. So what will most likely happen is we'll see a lot of drivers out now trying to make an attempt on the soft tyres, and if the drivers leave it too late, they may risk missing that window, and as a result having to set a time on the intermediate tyre, which is going to be massively off the pace in comparison to those drivers who have set a time on the slick tyre. So just having a look now at the tyres, you can see there is a couple of drivers who are going out on the medium tyres. We've got AMG Speeds and Ross Wheels both on the mediums, Dirty Chewbacca and DXT Viper on the mediums, so that's going to be really interesting to see how that strategy plays out. Count Dooku on the soft tyre, and he is starting us off with the first flying lap of the session, so let's see what he can do. Way through to sector 2. He does have a little bit of company behind him, not too close, but it does look to be RIZE in the Alpine, and down into the hairpin there both cars go, and also Kaz 420 in the AlphaTauri. So it is a 113.2 for Count Dooku. iZombie crosses the line with a 112.8 and Kaz 420 with a 112.1. So that is a cracking attempt there from Kaz 420, who sets the fastest lap time of the session so far. We do have both Mercedes drivers who look to be crossing the line. I love Max Verstappen crossing the line there just above his teammate, a 115.3 for Max Verstappen. DXT Viper with a 117.6, and Ross Wheels with the medium tyre, a 114.3 up into P4. That's a very nice attempt from the McLaren driver. Toddy Bear in the Red Bull crosses the line, 114.6 on a soft tyre. Good enough for P5. Now we can only take the top 10 drivers with us into Q3. It is the top 10 shootout, so we need the drivers with the top 10 fastest times. Just having a look now at some of the drivers who may be crossing the line soon. Tom Tarka is off track there. He's letting some of the traffic go past him who may be on flying laps. Dirty Chewbacca does have an invalidated lap attempt there on the medium tyres. He is going to struggle. He had some great pace there in Q1, but it does look like it may fall apart here for Dirty Chewbacca. Let's see what he can do, because the longer he waits to get that lap time in, the worse the track conditions are going to be, and obviously the slower the times are going to be as a result. So let's see what Dirty Chewbacca can do on those medium tyres as he makes his way round for a second attempt here. into sector 2. The Red Bull driver goes, his teammate up in P5 on the soft tires. Dirty Chewbacca is going for a bit of a different strategy here. There seems to be a split of the strategies between the Red Bulls, one for the red soft tire start and the other for the yellow medium tire start. So let's see what the drivers do here. The RS does appear to still be active, even given the conditions. So Red Bull makes his way to the finish line, crosses the line. It is a 1:15.2, good enough for P7 as it stands. He will progress through to the next stage of qualifying, but we do have a number of drivers who are yet to set lap times. One of those is AMG Speeds, who set the fastest lap time of Q1. Can he do the same? I'm not sure that he will be able to with those medium tires, because we do have some quick drivers who have opted for that soft tire. However, this could give AMG Speeds a bit of an advantage come restart on the medium tire in comparison to the soft tire. The medium tire will last a bit longer, the soft tire will degrade a bit faster, but then obviously the spin-off of that is that the soft tire will be the quicker tire, so it is really could swing either way. So AMG Speeds making his way to the final chicane, and he gets it invalidated on the last corner. What a shame for AMG Speeds there, who is going to have to go again, but unfortunately he can't go straight into another flying lap because it was the final corner that it was invalidated on. That does invalidate this lap attempt as well, which means that he will have to go round again and then head back out on track for another flying lap attempt. But obviously the more time that it takes AMG Speeds to do that, then the worse the conditions are getting, and you can see the track is definitely looking a hell of a lot greasier than when we started the session. So conditions are massively changing indeed, so that is not great news for AMG Speed. So let's see, will he head on for another flying lap attempt straight away? Does he have enough fuel for that, or does he need to get into the pits for a refuel? And he is heading straight for another flying lap attempt. You can see the rain is getting quite a bit worse there. The track is seriously super greasy here. So, and DRS has just been disabled. Race control have confirmed it. So even with the lack of DRS down both the back straight and the pit straight there, that is seriously going to cost AMG Speed some time. And you can see the rear end is getting really slippery there. And that is not good news for the McLaren driver. Can he set a competitive time under these conditions, or has he missed the window as the McLaren is just spinning all over track here? This is not great conditions for the McLaren driver. I think he is going to struggle to set a competitive time on those tires. He may need to go back out again on intermediates potentially. And there is a driver who has opted for intermediates. It's the XT Viper, who is on a flying lap attempt at the moment, I believe. Or potentially is going into a flying lap attempt. Let's just see. AMG Speeds has not exactly sure what is going on with AMG Speeds there. So he is going quite a bit slower. He does let hands past. And AMG Speeds is heading into the pits. That is not good news for the McLaren driver, who does look to have missed his window on the medium tyres and will need to swap over to those intermediates. SYM and Tom Tarka both also not setting times, as well as Roberts, who is out on a flying lap attempt at the moment. Round final 2 corners. And what sort of time can it be for the Haas driver? It is a 1:20.8, good enough for P11, and that is quite a bit off the pace of the XT Viper, who set a 1:17.6 on the mediums, and you can see he is already 6 seconds up on his best time, meaning he is not gaining anything being on those intermediate tires, and it does seem to be the case that AMG Speeds, Sim and Tom Tarka will not set fast enough times to get themselves through to Q3 top 10 shootout, but there is still time. We have 4 minutes left on the clock, so never say never in these cases, but these drivers are very much at risk, and it does look like Roberts is heading for another flying lap attempt, but he has not found any time in sector 1, and he has not found any time in sector 2. He is up 1.5 seconds on his previous time. Can he find anything here in sector 3? It seems to be very unlikely as conditions do get worse. Interesting, the Williams of Mecha 84 out on soft tires. Not sure what the strategy is there. And we are running out of time in this session. There is just... DXT Viper takes a spin there behind Mecha 84, and he is out on the medium tires. And there is cars heading his way. Getting that Mercedes facing the right way round there. Roberts on an outlap on the intermediate tires. Yes, just over 1 minute left on the clock. And it does look like there's not going to be any more change to the standings based on conditions. There we have it. End of Q2, and we'll be back shortly with our top 10 shootout in our Q3 coverage. And we are back again with our final qualifying session of the day. Q3 coverage, it's our top 10 shootouts, and you can see that the weather has taken a little bit of a turn for the better for the drivers. After the interesting spell of rain in Q2, the weather does seem to have improved quite a bit. We do have a number of drivers heading out of the pits quite quickly. Most drivers heading on their out laps. We do have both Red Bulls out on track, and Toddy Bear is the first one. Toddy Bear crossing the final corner there as he makes his way back onto the pit straight. He is ready to start the first flying lap of Q3. Let's see what the Red Bull driver can do. He is setting the benchmark for the other drivers for provisional pole, and he is setting the mark for all the other drivers to aspire towards and to beat. And heading into sector 2, the Red Bull driver goes, sets purple sector 1 time, as you would expect, being the first driver out on track. Let's see what he can do as he makes his way through sector 2. He's got a nice clean stretch of track ahead of him, no traffic and no cars coming behind him as well, so he can just give it the beans and extract the maximum from that Red Bull. DRS again for the Red Bull. You can see the rear wing flap opening up and closing now. And DRS again for the Red Bull. Let's see what time it is on the board for the Red Bull. It's a 1:11.2, so let's see what we can get from the other drivers. iZombie, Nick's driver, out on track. He's got DRS down the back straight, making his way towards the chicane just at the pit entry. And he attacks those corners very nicely indeed. Is it going to be enough to snatch provisional pole from Toddy Bear? It is enough. It's a 1:10.6 for the Alpine driver, as he does a very good job indeed. DXT Viper and Ross Wheels do cross the line too, but with much slower times. Just Tonner is stuck out on track there. He's trying to make his way back on track, but there is traffic coming his way. It is Hans in the Williams as he's making his way down the back straight with DRS assistance on a flying lap attempt. What can he do as it stands? iZombie is at a 1:10.6 and he has set the fastest lap time of the session and has provisional pole, but can the Williams driver take it off him? Oh, he can't, but he is very close. It is a 1:10.9 for Hans, and that brings him up into P2. Ross Wheels right behind DXT Viper. Not sure if he is on a flying lap or not, but if he is going to get one hell of a slipstream down the back straight here from the Mercedes, as iZombie does set an even faster lap time there. It's a 1:10.2, and Ross Wheels in the McLaren does get his lap time invalidated, and that is not ideal for the McLaren driver as he now tries to start another flying lap attempt, but he is having a bit of a tussle here with the Mercedes driver. 32 back does appear to be struggling as he is having issues with track limits. Has 420 at real potential for pole position here. iZombie has set the benchmark, but can Cas 420 do anything about that? Just 3 drivers who haven't set lap times at this stage, but let's see what the AlphaTauri driver can do as he makes his way down the pit straight, and he is ready to start his flying lap attempt here. You can see the brakes on the AlphaTauri are screaming, roaring red. He is maximising everything from that car, and he does have issues with an invalidated lap attempt there. Track limits have caught Kaz 420 out there in Sector 1. This is not good news for the AlphaTauri driver. But what about the Red Bull driver? Dirty Chewbacca had issues previously, but can he redeem himself now as he is making his way through Sector 1? He has set a purple Sector 1 time. That is fantastic from the Red Bull driver. What can he do here in Sectors 2 and 3? He's got a clean bit of track ahead of him here. No traffic. Oh no, he spins! The Red Bull driver spins, having set a fantastic Sector 1 time. He is having issues here in Sector 2. Just taking a little bit too much curb, and that has unfortunately cost Dirty Chewbacca. But can he go again straight on to another flying lap attempt, or does he need to head into the pits? And he heads back into the pits again. Kaz 420 is on another flying lap, but he is having real issues here with track limits as he completely cuts that corner and has been handed a track violations infringement. That is not ideal at all. A number of drivers in the pits, and we have a couple of drivers who are on out laps at the moment. Toddy Bear up in P4. We are running out of time for drivers to set the final laps of this session, and we do have a couple of drivers who are yet to set lap times. Just Tonner does have a track limits violation there and does appear to be struggling with track limits. Hopefully he can get back on track again and get a lap time on the board. Kaz 420 does start another flying lap. Is this going to be the one for the AlphaTauri driver? Can he snatch provisional pole off iZombie, or will provisional pole go to the Alpine driver? And he does struggle with track limits again. That is so unfortunate for Kaz 420, who still cannot get it right. But Toddy Bear does set a provisional best Sector 1 time there for the Red Bull. This is a fantastic showing from Toddy Bear as he makes his way down DRS zone, and from Sectors 2 towards Sector 3, and it is a purple Sector 2 time for Toddy Bear. Where is this pace coming from? This is fantastic from the Red Bull driver. Let's see what he can do down Sector 3, and can he snatch provisional pole off iZombie? iZombie may be a little bit scared at the moment, but he does look to be out on track and can potentially improve on his time. Toddy Bear, fantastic through that final chicane and DRS, and is a provisional pole. It is not. It is a 1:10.5. Very, very close from the Red Bull driver, but it does look like he lost a bit of time there in Sector 3, which has cost him dearly. Ross Wheels in the McLaren has set a time that is quite a bit off the pace. What can he do now as he makes his way down the pit straight? He's got DRS open, and what time is it going to be on the board? It's a 1:11.8. That does move him up into P6. And Dirty Chewbacca having issues again with track limits. Kaz 420 is on a flying lap and has made it into Sector 2 with no issues with track limits so far, so this could be the one for Kaz 420. Let's see what he can do as he makes his way from Sector 2 into Sector 3. No fastest sector time here for Kaz 420, but can he do anything here in Sector 3? As it stands, no one is getting close enough to challenge iZombie, and there is just over a minute and a half left on the clock. Cars 420 down the pit straight with DRS, crosses the line with a 1:11.5, and it is P6 for our current drivers champion. Dirty Chewbacca is having another go at it again through sector 1. Oh no, another invalidated lap attempt for Dirty Chewbacca. And he is having real issues with track limits, but it is not just him. There is a number of drivers who have been struggling indeed with track limits. The XT Viper is on a flying lap here, but is down 1.7 seconds on his best time. He has to find some time in sector 3, but I'm not sure that he can do it. Not sure if he can find enough to improve on his time. And he is not making any improvements, 2 seconds slower than his best time. Got a lot of on-track activity here. Max Verstappen in the Mercedes is making his way down the back pit straight and crosses the line. Has not found any time. Is he going straight into another flying lap attempt? We shall see, but Dirty Chewbacca is just ahead. And this is Dirty Chewbacca's final attempt to get this right, as he has not set a lap time. He is making his way through sector 1. Can he do it, as the checkered flag state is now? Oh no! It is another track limits violation for Dirty Chewbacca, and he will end the session having not set a lap time. And as it stands, iZombie is on provisional pole. Toddy Bear is on a final attempt to try and take that provisional pole off iZombie. Can he do it? He's got 2 corners left to navigate, and he has a track limits violation as well, and unfortunately cannot do anything. It does look like it is down to Max Verstappen. He has saved a little bit of time through sectors 1 and 2. Not enough to bump him up into pole position, but can he improve on his current starting position? As Cars 420 does cross the line with the fastest lap, it is a 1:10.1. He is on provisional pole. He absolutely pulled that out of the bag, and it is Cars 420 who will be starting in P1. That is an unbelievable final lap from Cars 420, and iZombie will have to settle for P2. But it's all to play for in the race, so stick with us as we will be back shortly with race coverage here from the Canadian Grand Prix. Hello and welcome back for our race coverage as CAS 420 does get us off on the formation lap. Now, interesting in terms of strategy here, the majority of drivers have opted for that soft tyre start. We do have a couple of drivers who are on the medium tyres. It is Ross Wales, DXT Viper, Dirty Chewbacca, who had a bit of a disastrous Q3 qualifying session there, but on the medium tyre. Can he do something to get himself back up and into the fight for potentially a podium or race win? Having a look at the pit stop strategy, it does look to be a T-stop for the guys starting on the soft tyres. Soft, medium, medium, or potentially soft, medium, hard for those who fancy that as well. So just having a look, the other driver we do have on the medium tyres is AMG Smithy, with one driver opting for the hard tyre start, and that is Meke84 in the Williams down in P14. All of the remaining drivers are on soft tyre start, so it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out in terms of tyre strategy. As we're aware, the conditions do look good, and there is no threat of rain as it stands, but again, conditions can be quite unpredictable here in Canada, so we don't know how that will go. You can see drivers are weaving from side to side, getting plenty of heat into those tyres, plenty of temperature into the tyres, and trying to get them into the optimum working window for the best possible start they can get. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this start goes, and I'm interested to see how the likes of Dirty Chewbacca fare on the medium tyre in comparison to those on the soft tyre. Drivers are making their way to their grid boxes, and Bucko in the Aston Martin, last driver to get to the box, and we are waiting for 5 red lights before we get going. Race control is starting sequence now. 5 red lights, and it is lights out, and away we go. CAS 420 gets a much better start there off the grid. iZombie slots into P2, and we have most drivers making their way through quite nicely there. We do have yellow flags, however, and we do have a couple of drivers here dropping down the pecking order. Toddy Bear and Hans do appear to be fighting it out there, as Toddy Bear does get the move back on Hans, and Count Dooku is up into P3. There's just quite a lot of movement here, as Drowsy Brawler is up 8 places already. Unbelievable start from Drowsy Brawler, and Dirty Chewbacca is up into P9, and we have a virtual safety car. And that was quite late breaking there from Dirty Chewbacca. Wasn't sure what was going on. Predicted pit stop strategy for the guys on the medium tyre: 2 stop, medium, soft, medium. Virtual safety car, but we do have all drivers still with us, so there may have just been a little bit of a collision there, a little bit of debris on track, and that has caused for the virtual safety car. That allows us to slow things down a little bit and just get a bit of an understanding as to what has went on in those opening stages. Drivers who have lost out: SYM in the Haas, he does appear to be missing a front wing and down 7 places. Tom Tarka down 4 places. AMG Speeds is down 5 places, which is not good at all for the McLaren driver, who is opting for an early pit start there. That is not what AMG Speeds was looking for. And CAS 420 and iZombie remain in the same positions in P1 and P2. Count Dooku has got a nice start off the grid up into P3. Toddy Bear just behind will be looking to keep the pressure on Count Dooku as the virtual safety car does come to an end, and CAS 420 gets us going again. iZombie keeping fairly close to the AlphaTauri driver, and he's got his sights on that race win, but can CAS 420 keep the Alpine driver at bay? Toddy Bear getting up close and personal with the Ferrari of Count Dooku. He is side by side and he's got the inside line here. Count Dooku is not making it easy for him, but Count Dooku is fighting back and he's got the inside line into this corner. But Toddy Bear is doing a little bit of a switcheroo move there and he fights back again. That is fantastic racing from both the Red Bull and the Ferrari as DRS is enabled again following that safety car or virtual safety car restart, and there's a little bit of contact there between the Ferrari and the Red Bull, but it does not look to be anything too severe. But Toddy Bear has dropped down and conceded the place to Hans, who now has DRS on Count Dooku. This is very nice battling indeed, and already there is over 4 second gap between P3 and between the likes of iZombie and Kaz 420. And there is a big bunch of drivers all together there. Dirty Chewbacca up into P6. He is up 4 places already, and it is only lap 3. Dirty Chewbacca in a very nice place there as Toddy Bear does hop into the pit, so it does look like there was that contact between Count Dooku and Toddy Bear has cost him a little bit as he is getting a front wing change there by the Red Bull pit grid. And there is a bit of a battle there between Drowsy Brawler and I Love Max Verstappen. And you can see Dirty Chewbacca has got his sights on the Williams of Hans, who is battling it out with the Ferrari of Count Dooku, who came off better to Toddy Bear. Just look at how close it is between iZombie and Kaz 420. 0.3 seconds separating these two for the top spot, and iZombie will get DRS down this back straight here. So can he get the overtake on the AlphaTauri driver? Let's see. He's using his ERS. He's used quite a bit of his ERS. It is down to 15%. That is quite a bit used already, but he is getting DRS there, and he is pulling alongside and is now ahead of the AlphaTauri driver. Will he get DRS down the pit straight as well? He will. This gives him an opportunity to consolidate that lead, but unfortunately he did not get a very good exit out of that corner. Kaz 420 got a better exit, but the Alpine driver still remains ahead, and iZombie is up into P1, Kaz 420 down into P2, but I am sure that Kaz 420 will absolutely fight back as much as he can. Drowsy Brawler is fighting unbelievably, up 13 places here and up into P5. Count Dooku has dropped a couple of places there and is down into P6, down 2 places from where he started, but Drowsy Brawler and Dirty Chewbacca as well also doing fantastically. Does look like we have yellow flags out. Not sure what that is for. Is that for AMG speeds? Seems to be going slow there. Oh, he has lost his front wing. Not sure what's going on for AMG speeds, but it is not a good race for him. And Dirty Chewbacca is getting DRS on the Williams. He is getting closer to that P3 spot, but he is under some immense pressure from Drowsy Brawler. And it is getting spicy between these drivers. Look how close Dirty Chewbacca is to Hans, and this is where the medium tires will start to kick in. 6 laps in, those soft tires are maybe starting to drop off a cliff a little bit, and the medium tire is where Dirty Chewbacca can excel, but Drowsy Brawler is not making it easy for him, and Drowsy Brawler is on the soft tires, I believe, and he is doing a fantastic job on those soft tires as well. Both drivers have DRS again on Hans, who is left vulnerable, but he keeps the P3 spot for now, although Dirty Chewbacca hopefully can take advantage of this situation as Drowsy Brawler does pull alongside the Red Bull and leads into the corner, but the Red Bull does have the inside line, but Drowsy Brawler does get a better exit off that corner, and it is now a battle here between Drowsy Brawler and Dirty Chewbacca's AMG speeds with tires in the pits after a disastrous start to his race. Really, really unfortunate as Dirty Chewbacca and Drowsy Brawler are battling away here. This is a fantastic battle between these two drivers. There's been some very, very nice racing here between Ferrari and Red Bull, and that is between both drivers on both sides. Dirty Chewbacca concedes the place to Drowsy Brawler for now, but hopefully he can preserve his tyres and in the long run come out better. iZombie keeps his P1 spot, but Cars 420 still just 0.7 seconds off, so he's very, very close and not making this easy for iZombie. And Drowsy Brawler getting interested in the Williams of Hans. Very, very close, but not close enough to get that move done. But he will get DRS assistance down the back straight, so can he get a move done? But the safety car is out, and this is where it's going to get tricky, right? Because full safety car and the people who are on the soft tires, this is the optimum time for them to come into the pits. Will iZombie or Cars 420 come into the pits? I think they will. Oh, they will not. That is interesting. iZombie and Cars 420 are both opting to stay out. So is Drowsy Brawler and Dirty Chewbacca. Dirty Chewbacca on the medium tire, so that is understandable. I am shocked that none of these drivers have opted for a cheap pit stop at this stage. That could have been a defining moment in terms of strategy. And you can see drivers are catching up to that safety car. I'm still shocked that we did not see more drivers in the pits as a result of this safety car. I'm not sure if iZombie or Cars 420 will fancy now going into the pits for pit stop, because they will have been held up behind the safety car, and that will have cost them more time if they pit now rather than having pitted in the previous lap. Oh, and it does look like Drowsy Brawler was thinking about staying out there, but as iZombie and Cars 420 both head into the pits, he does it as well. And we have a lot of drivers coming in for pit stops now this time round, which is really interesting to see. iZombie is the first driver there out, and he is opting for those medium tires. Ross Wheels now slots up in the P1 with the medium tires, and what's interesting is that Dirty Chewbacca, who also started on the medium tires, has decided to pit, and he is on soft tires now. Toddy Bear is up in the P2. Just having a look at the tyres. Toddy Bear on 5-lap-old medium tyres, and Ross Wheels on 8-lap-old medium tyres. So Count Dooku also on 3-lap-old medium tyres. So his tyres are fairly fresh. So that is not a bad place to be for Count Dooku. iZombie is the first driver to have the fresh tyres applied. So it is iZombie, Drowsy Brawler, who both have fresh medium tyres. I love Max Verstappen with 3-lap-old medium tyres. Cars 420 has somehow dropped right down to P9. Not exactly sure what happened there with the AlphaTauri driver, but he is going to be fighting to try and get back up to iZombie come the safety car restart. And it is most drivers have caught up to the safety car now. Ross Wales is the leader. And we do have 2 retirees as it stands, AMG Speeds and V1 Jord. So we are down to 18 drivers, and this is our first safety car. Ross Wales has dropped right down there a little bit, which is really interesting. He's dropped down to P4. iZombie up into P3. So not exactly sure what's happened, and now Ross Wales does have a penalty with for a collision with Drowsy Brawler. Safety car is in this lap. Toddy Bear up into P1, Count Dooku in P2. So let's see how we go in this restart. Toddy Bear does hit the gas fairly early, and he gets us going. Count Dooku 0.4 seconds behind. Ross Wales and Drowsy Brawler battling it out there. Drowsy was on the grass. Does look like he wasn't given a lot of room there, but he is fighting with Ross Wales. Drowsy's got the inside line. Late braking from the Ferrari driver, and he does get ahead into that corner, and that is Drowsy up into P4. iZombie in P3 as it stands, but he is catching up to Count Dooku in P2, who is hot on the tails of Toddy Bear in the Red Bull. Oh no, and Dirty Chewbacca has DNF there. Not sure what happened to the Red Bull driver, as he has now retired from the session. That is a disaster. And we have another safety car out again. That is so unfortunate for the Red Bull of Dirty Chewbacca, who becomes our third retiree on this session. Not sure what happened, didn't catch it on stream, but it is an absolute disaster. And Toddy Bear has now caught up to the safety car. And Drowsy Brawler slots in behind. Drivers will start to bunch up again on their safety car, and hopefully we will get racing again very shortly. You can see a number of drivers starting to catch up to the back of Drowsy Brawler. Kaz 420 now back up into P3 and can start to fight for that P1 position. iZombie dropping right down the pecking order there, down to P11. It does look like he has pitted again, and he is opting for those hard tires. Could be a sensible choice, because that will see him through, or very well could see him through to the end of the race. So he will look to go to the end of the race, whereas the likes of Kaz 420 and others will need to pit again. So interesting to see how that strategy does play out for iZombie, as he is clearly taking a very, very different strategy to that of Kaz 420, who he was battling with for P1. There we have the confirmation that we need from race control. Safety car is in this lap. Toddy Bear now does set the pace off the field. He can choose how fast or how slow he wishes to go, and he does let the safety car head towards the pits. And Toddy Bear does get us going again. And Drowsy Brawler is super close to Toddy Bear there. Drowsy Brawler can fight for that P1 position. He did look like he was potentially going to go for a move there, but does not go at this stage. Toddy Bear is not getting fantastic traction out of those corners. Drowsy Brawler does appear to be getting much better traction out of the corners, so he could potentially get an overtake done very shortly indeed, as Kaz 420 is very close behind Drowsy Brawler, 0.2 seconds, as there is contact between both drivers, and Kaz 420 goes right past, and Max Verstappen hands Roberts. Drowsy is slotting into P6 as Toddy Bear drops right down into P11. What happened between those two drivers, and why did we not get that on the stream? That is an absolute disaster for those two who are fighting for the top spots and not anymore. So Kaz 420 misses that drama completely, slides right past the cars as they spun off the track. Kaz 420 up into P1, Max Verstappen in P2, and Hans is just right behind Max Verstappen in P3 and could be on track for a final podium place. But Drowsy Brawler is not going to give up that easy. He is fighting here with Meke 84. There is contact with the barrier, and there is contact for Just Tonner as he hits the track. He is luckily not DNF, but he hits the barrier there and has a bad spin, and there are yellow flags out on track everywhere. This is just an absolutely chaotic phase, as there is contact there between Boscombe Boy and Just Tonner. Not sure what happened to Boscombe Boy's brakes there. He just completely lost it, went flying into the back of Just Tonner, and that is an absolute disaster for both of those drivers. That is just filthy driving. Drowsy Brawler getting interested in the Haas off Roberts. Drowsy Brawler. And he gets to move on Roberts. And Count Dooku gets a move on Roberts, and Drowsy Brawler is up into P4. He now has a little bit of a gap to make up to Hans, 2.1 9 seconds, almost 3 seconds to make up to Hans, and he is now under some pressure from his teammate Count Dooku. At the moment it is Ferrari in 4th and 5th. DRS has now been enabled. Count Dooku is sliding very close in but alongside his teammate, and he gets the overtake into turn 1, and Count Dooku is up back into P4 where he started this race. It's been a very, very extraordinary race for Count Dooku, who has gone up and down. Hans putting Max Verstappen under pressure here. And the Williams does get DRS, but Max Verstappen has extended that gap a little bit, so it does look like he will not get an overtake done at this stage, but the gap has closed as Williams goes wide. 0.4 seconds separating Max Verstappen and Hans as they make their way into the hairpin corner. You can see those brakes are working very hard in the Williams. It is close between the Williams and the Mercedes. Hans will get DRS again. 0.4 seconds DRS, and Max Verstappen does move over to defend. Hans did have a little look at it but decides to back off. He will get another attempt down the pit straight. DRS assistance for the Williams. He is getting very, very close indeed, and he just decides to back off again. It is just too soon. Oh no! Contact between iZombie and Meki, and a bit of iZombie's front wing does shed off there. That is going to cost him time, and that massively affects his strategy in terms of those hard tires. A hard tire strategy will not work now for iZombie, who will now need to pit and change his strategy, and that has cost him dearly. He will not now be able to fight for that race win, which is extremely disappointing to hear. It is absolute carnage out there for the driver's hands. 0.3 seconds off Max Verstappen. It does look like he is potentially getting a move done on the Williams. It pulls it in alongside, but cannot get the move done just yet. Max Verstappen does get away very nicely indeed, and Hans, 0.4 seconds away, does get DRS again, but he is not close enough to get that move done, as there is someone coming out of the pits there. It does look like Boscombe Boy out of the pits, as iZombie is making his way into the pits now, and Meki 84 has contact with the wall and sheds part of his front wing. It is not looking good for some of these drivers. iZombie has pitted for soft tires, which is an interesting strategy because I do not expect that those soft tires will last to the end of the race. But let's see what he can do. Potentially he can fight back in the stint. Anything is possible. And Hans does get to move on Max Verstappen, who spins out and has contact with the barrier. The Mercedes has dropped down, and he is in a bit of a sticky position here because there is a lot of traffic heading his way, and he really cannot just reverse that car on track. He is going to have to allow the cars to go past, and he does not do that in the proper manner. He does just glitch himself back on the track, and that is not good news for Max Verstappen there, who has dropped right down into P11. Count Dooku now gets the podium place, as he is now in P3, up one place from where he started the race. It's been an eventful race indeed for Count Dooku, and Hans is now up into P2, up 3 places from where he started. So very, very nice indeed from both of those drivers. A lot of the pack have bunched out now. Toddy Bear in P4 is heading into the pits, and he is getting a front wing change. That is costing him a bit of time. And Tom Tarka and Bucko are fighting for P4. Tom Tarka just 0.7 seconds off the Aston Martin driver. iZombie 0.7 seconds off Roberts. He is making those soft tires work for him, as he sets a purple sector 1 time. It is the fastest sector 1 time of the session so far. He's got DRS on the Haas driver, but he is not close enough to get an overtake done. And into the hairpin the drivers go. He will get DRS again on Roberts, but Roberts will get DRS, I believe, or he will not get DRS. He's just missed the DRS window, and iZombie is gaining fast on the Haas driver. He pulls out to make the overtake. He's got the inside line, and he is ahead of the Haas driver going into that final chicane and back onto the pit straight. iZombie is up into P8. He does get his overtake on his teammate in the pits, as his teammate is in the pits there. iZombie does set the fastest lap time of the session up into P7. What can he do from here? He is 1.4 seconds off Toddy Bear, and there is a car off track there, the Haas of SYM. Ross Wales gaining on Williams off Mecca 84. He's got DRS. And Mecca 84 is getting held up by the blue flags for SYM. SYM is not moving out of the way of Ross Wales. Ross Wales does get the overtake anyway. Bucko now heading into the pits, and Toddy Bear and iZombie now jump ahead of Bucko up into P5 and 6 respectively. DXT Viper in P4, 17 seconds off the final podium spot. There do appear to be yellow flags out on track, but we cannot see what that is for at this stage. Oh no, and Hans does slide off track there, and Count Dooku does make his way up into P2. Hans does drop down a little bit there. He has got a 2.9 second gap to Phil, and he is heading straight into the pits there, which is not what the Williams driver needed. Does he need a wing change as well? He does not, but he is setting on a new set of medium tyres, which hopefully should do him till the end of the race. Can iZombie get the move on Hans, or will Hans come out ahead of iZombie in the pits? He does come out ahead of iZombie, and there is a 1.8 second gap between Hans and iZombie. Hans does have contact there with Toddy Bear, and I believe a bit of a wing shed off the Williams, who has just been into the pits, and you can see the bit of front wing there that is missing from the Hans Williams driver. That is so unfortunate, as another bit of debris comes off the front wing. Having made that pit stop, he will need to make another pit stop, which is an absolute disaster for the Williams driver. iZombie, however, is up into P5. He's got his sights on P4, and P3. So let's see what he can do with those soft tires, and he will get DRS on the Mercedes of DXT Viper. DXT Viper does get DRS on Toddy Bear, so not much happening yet, but iZombie is close, 0.1 seconds off DXT Viper. Can he get a move done here? He decides not yet, it's just a bit too risky, but he is gaining very much so on that Mercedes. He's got better traction out of the corner, but DXT Viper is not making it easy to get that overtake done. A little bit of contact there between the Mercedes and the Alpine, not much, just a little touch. He's just letting them know that he is there. DXT Viper forgot. And DRS again for iZombie. He's got the faster speed than DXT Viper. And he's got the overtake on the Mercedes driver, and that is iZombie up into P4. And now 3.2 seconds off Toddy Bear. Kaz 420 is absolutely in a league of his own at the minute. 15 seconds off P2 and a further 17 seconds off P3. So he has got one hell of a gap, and he just needs to keep his race nice and clean from now. Ross Wales heading into the pits there. He's got a front wing change going and a new set of soft tires getting put on. Max Verstappen 0.2 seconds off Bucko in the Aston Martin. He is getting interested in the Aston Martin. He thought about a move there, could not make it work, but he is gaining quite quickly on the Aston Martin of Bucko. Can he get a move done here into the hairpin? He does brake late. He does have a look at it, but the gap wasn't really there for the Mercedes driver. Will he get DRS down this back straight now? He does, but Bucko has created a little bit of a gap there between the two drivers, so it is unlikely he's going to get an overtake here. Just having a look at penalties now. This is going to be interesting to see how this all plays out in terms of penalties. So let's see. So our top 4 drivers all have 3-second time penalties, so that would leave things unchanged as it stands for the top 4. Roberts has 15 seconds worth of penalties, so he is going to drop down quite a bit if things remain as they are, as Bucko does take a little bit of a spin there, and Max Verstappen does jump up into P9. Bucko does drop into P10 and now P11 as Just Tonner does get the move on him. And you can see in terms of pit stops, Kaz 420 has only had 1 pit stop this race. The other drivers have had 2 or 3 pit stops, with Drowsy Brawler and Boscombe Boy and SYM having 4 and 5 pit stops respectively. Max Verstappen up into P8, having taken a move on Tom Tarka. There's contact there between Roberts and DXT Viper, and I cannot believe what I'm seeing here. The rain has started in this race, and this is going to get exciting for the drivers, because we are going to have to see some pit stops as iZombie retires from the session. No way, that cannot be. iZombie is DNF'd. Not exactly sure what happened there for him, but the safety car is out and it is raining, and Kaz 420 is in the pits. Is he getting those intermediate tires on? He is getting the green tire on it is intermediates for CAS 420. Now the interesting thing is that too early to get those intermediate tires on or not? Not sure, but Count Dooku is not taking that risk. He's jumped into the pits alongside CAS 420, and it'll be interesting to see how that all goes for those drivers as Drowsy Brawler equally comes out on the intermediate tires. We are seeing most drivers coming into the pits there, as Hans DNFs as well, and again not exactly sure what happened, but you can see the Williams there on the side of the track, and it is disaster for Hans and iZombie, and this could be a very spicy end to the race, which has been filled with plenty of drama. Roberts is getting stuck here. He is stuck in the Haas pit box as his teammate comes in for his stop, and Roberts now jumping in. So all the drivers had a pretty big gap indeed. CAS 420 had a massive gap, and he is now having that gap severely reduced, and obviously the conditions have changed quite a bit as well, so this is going to be a real challenge for CAS 420 here in terms of how he does and how he fares against the likes of Count Dooku and Toddy Bear in the wet conditions. And you can see those conditions have changed quite dramatically. The rain is coming down quite heavy, and you can see the track is quite a bit wet now, and Count Dooku does catch up to the back of CAS 420 there. We do have quite a bit to go before other drivers start to catch up. Toddy Bear 14 seconds off Count Dooku, and Mecha84 a further 24 seconds off Toddy Bear. So quite a bit to go before these drivers start to bunch up. And this is going to be a very exciting end to the race. There's currently 5 more laps to go. We are on lap 30 out of 35, and we need to get a bit of an understanding from race control in terms of when the safety car will be coming in. And Toddy Bear has caught up to Count Dooku and CAS 420. Still quite a bit to go before the next driver, Mecha84, catches up 23 seconds off. DXT Viper is a further 7 seconds behind. And safety car is in this lap. This is really interesting because drivers have not had much of an opportunity to bunch up, but Toddy Bear, Count Dooku and CAS 420 have. So this is going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out. It does say safety car is in this lap, but safety car has not came in this lap. So not exactly sure how that is playing out. Maybe it means safety car will be in the following lap, or potentially we may see another glitched lobby. Hopefully not though. I have Mecha84 in the mix, who's now caught up to the back of Toddy Bear. Now, safety car does appear to be going off now, and CAS 420 will get us away again with just 4 more laps to go. Not sure what Toddy Bear was trying there on Count Dooku, because safety car was not in at that stage, and Toddy Bear does cost himself a potential podium. But CAS 420 and Count Dooku continue to battle away as Mech 8 makes his way up into P3, and just right after that, rookie move from Toddy Bear, who drops right down into P5. Count Dooku is very close to CAS 420, 0.8 seconds, with Mech 84 just 1.1 seconds off. But what's interesting is Mech 84 does not have any penalties to serve, so CAS 420 and Count Dooku better watch out. If Mech 84 can keep the gap, he could win this race. So let's see how it goes in the next couple of laps for these drivers. Count Dooku, that gap does not look to be shrinking any. And Just Tunner has DNF'd. This is unbelievable, the amount of DNFs we're seeing. And safety car is out again. This is not what the drivers are needing in the final stages of this race. Safety car is out again, and CAS 420 will pick up the safety car shortly. CAS 420 just picking up safety car there, as Count Dooku and Mech 8 are not far behind. Do you have a couple of more drivers who will be catching up? Hopefully DXT Viper, Toddy Bear will get a second attempt after that rookie mistake from the Red Bull driver, which has cost him a potential podium. It does look like safety car is back in again. CAS 420 will get us going with just 2 more laps left in this race, and these 2 laps are going to be intense for CAS 420, who does get another 3-second time penalty, and that is not going to help his efforts. As we just have a look at the penalty situation, Mech 84 still without penalties, CAS 420 now with 6 seconds worth of penalties, and Count Dooku with 3 seconds, as Count Dooku is very, very close behind. CAS 420, 0.2 seconds separating these 2 drivers. We've got yellow flags out in Sector 1 as DXT Viper is dropping down the pecking order. Toddy Bear does slot into P4. Not sure what happened to DXT Viper there, but Count Dooku is getting very interested in the AlphaTauri of CAS 420. Mech 84 is keeping a very nice distance indeed from these drivers, but he is keeping within the boundary of what he needs to potentially get the race win here. And we have another retiree. DXT Viper has retired from the session, and we have yellow flags again, no safety car at this stage. Mech 8 is now down to 2.2 seconds. He needs to keep within that 3-second gap if he wants to get a race win here. And we are on our final lap now. Half the grid has retired now at this stage. It has not been a very successful race for our Division 2 drivers. Not the cleanest either. But we are at the end. Cas 420 currently leads, but with 6 seconds worth of penalties. Mecha 84 is having a moment there, and that has cost his chance at winning this race. That is not good news for Mecha 84, but he could potentially still finish in second, but that is just not what the Williams driver wanted. He wanted the race win, and he is just losing the rear end altogether there, and he has dropped out of that 6-second window, and unfortunately will have to settle for P3, providing he can get himself to the finish line. And that is a disaster finish for Mecha 84. And Cas 420 does cross the line. First Count Dooku just behind and gets the race win as a result of penalties. Mecha 84 does cross the line in P3, and that is a very, very nice race from the Williams driver. Toddy Bear and Roberts do appear to be battling away. Roberts with a bit of front wing missing, and Toddy Bear crosses in P4, Roberts P5. Max Verstappen up into P5 as a result of penalties. Bucko crosses the line in P7, and Drowsy Brawler takes P7 as a result of penalties. And Ross Wheels will be the final driver to cross the line, and that concludes a very, very messy Canadian Grand Prix, but we have finished